We continue in the third chapter of Igeres HaTshuva, speaking about how not only we're forgiven, but it's forgotten. Anything that we have done that may be negative, may be a sin, or is rather, and not only have we done tshuva, but now brought it to another level completely of we're giving a gift. So the gift in the times of the Holy Temple was an offering on the altar. After that it became fasting. And today it's primarily through giving more charity. Giving charity. So although the charity is kind of replacing the fasting in a certain way, there's still this concept of fasting. I'm going to give the class as the Alter Rebbe states it, and then we'll discuss it. So, nevertheless, as we said yesterday, the Alter Rebbe said yesterday, if your fasting is going to harm you, meaning harm means that you can't function properly throughout your day, especially if you're someone who does mitzvahs through the day, it's learning Torah or other things, and it's going to hold you back from doing the good that you're doing, don't fast. It's a sin to fast. But yet if someone has the strength and has the capacity to actually fast in order that you can be standing before God like you were before you did anything wrong, so then you should contemplate to at least fast once during their lifetime. The number of fasts for any particular grave sin, for example, wasteful emission, which is 84 fasts. So he said, don't fast it 84 times in a year. Do it over 10 years. So you're going to have, less than 10 fasts, and do it in the winter when the day is short. So then your fast is short. Now it's in summer, it's a long fast. Do it in the winter. And you even can get up before dawn and eat something so you have the strength and do that. It says you should do 3 times the 84. That's what we spoke about a couple classes earlier, right? 252 would be. So the other ones, if you want, you can also do half fast. According to the Jerusalem Talmud, a half-day fast is considered also. Right? So that's what you do. 2 half-day fasts is like a full-day fast, meaning till noontime, right? In the winter months, again, because it's a shorter day, because a Jewish day is counted by how long the day is divided by 12, and the night divided by 12. So if the day is a short day, right now, an hour is more than 60 minutes, Jewish hour, because the day is longer. So do that. And then, if you, and that way you can finish it off. So that's today's teachings. Ooh. How well do you fast? Actually, Sunday will be a fast day. So I don't suggest people that you do this. Alter Rebbe says this, but he's talking about people who have strength, who have the power, and I wouldn't say that this is the first line of offense, or not offense. If you did an offense, that you should take this line of action. Charity, yes. Yes, absolutely, when it comes to being charitable and extra charitable, in order to, with the intent to be able to stand before God in wholeness, in completeness, not just because that's your identity, because that's the way you are functionally. So yes, being charitable in such a way, I don't suggest these fasts. I don't think we're of a generation that has the capacity. And this is not our first line of action that we need to take. Our first line of action is engage in doing good. Another mitzvah. Accept upon yourself another mitzvah. Do more good. And actually we're going to discuss that idea later in these chapters about how to propel yourself in a manner by just focusing on doing more good. But step by step. All right, any questions, any comments? Very short class. If you do have a question, 2 question marks before you ask the question, please, so that way it's easy to notice that it is a question. Rambam's coming up, of course. Oh, very good, Elka. Thank you. Marcy, please share with us.
So I was thinking about this in terms of what my rabbi used to teach about the idea of teshuvah as a form of breaking your nature. And so, you know, I mean, there are people for whom fasting is easy. And so for them, how would that bring atonement? It's something that they do not regularly, but enough. Like I know a lot of people who as part of their dieting do like regular fasting. And so for them, I can't imagine it would bring atonement. And I feel like, you know, when we're talking about these things, this is kind of a one-size-fits-all sort of solution, charity. Not that charity, I mean, obviously charity fits everybody, and how you give charity is extremely personal anyway. Like, you're always going to personalize it to what feels right to you, where you give your tzedakah, how much you give, whether it's your time or your money, you know. So that is very personal. But the fast is you know, that really is a one-size-fits-all. So how do you find the right kind of atonement that fits, that breaks your nature, that makes you feel like you're really doing something?
Right. Very, very good question. So I think in the area of tzedakah, of charity, we can find that idea. In other words, to give in a way that you're comfortable. So, of course, it's wonderful that you gave, but to give in a way that it's a little more than what your comfort zone is, then that's definitely breaking your nature, right? That's one thing. And then there is, you know, the particular thing that you did wrong. So the Rambam actually speaks about this idea. For example, let's say a person has an anger issue. So they're bent out of shape, right? So he gives a metaphor of a tree. So in order that the tree should be straight, what do you have to do when it's bent this way? You got to bend it the other way. So he says that therefore you need to bend yourself to the other extreme and to work on yourself to accept things that maybe, let's say someone, you know, was really nasty to you and abusive and so on. Whereas maybe in regular condition you would respond in an appropriate way, not in anger, but respond. Don't respond at all. In other words, go completely against your nature of anger, that you will then straighten out yourself by going the other extreme, that you will come out straight through this process. So that is something of, you know, really going against your nature. So that's an example of it, and that's, you know, and that's where your sin is, right? We said the Arizal says when you get angry, you have to fast 151 times. Whew. Right? That's a surefire way to make sure you don't get angry. knowing that, well, maybe it's not, but it can definitely help. I think, working yourself in such a manner, that might be the way. Does that resonate, Marcy?
Yes, thank you very much, Rabbi. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, thank you. Shoshana Bina. So you have a heter to drink water because of the fast and medical condition. Yes. Does this make it meaningless to attempt a voluntary fast? That's a good question. I suggest not to go there right now. This is something to take up in a personal, private way about the fasting if someone were to do this. So right now I would say not to. How were the fasts determined? The Arizal, it's based on Kabbalah that I'll be quite honest, I'm not aware. I don't know. I'd have to learn it. No, I haven't. Julie, why are some fast days only daylight during the day and others like Yom Kippur 25 hours? So there's only two fasts that are a complete day. That's Yom Kippur, which is a biblical one, which is 25 hours. And then Tisha B'Av, likewise, but that's rabbinic, is also a full day. Those are the two unique fasts. Every other fast is when we say half day, doesn't mean till noon. It means there's three types of fasts. There's a fast you can start in the morning till noontime, right? Till noontime. Then there's a fast that you start in the morning. The morning means before dawn, not sunrise, but dawn, which is before that, until nightfall, right? And then you have a 25-hour fast. So you have the three different kinds. So the daytime fast is because it's not as stringent or as, shall we say, important might be the word, as the other fasts that are full day fasts. Okay. Michael, please share with us.
In this chapter is stated that it's the level of nefesh that sins. Why is it a level of nefesh and not one of the other four levels?
Very good. So nefesh, there's 5 levels of the soul. From the top, Yechida, Chaya, Neshama, Ruach, and the lowest is nefesh. Nefesh is connected with the bodily functions. So since fasting is affecting the bodily functions, it's connected to that. So therefore, the reference to the fasting is the nefesh level of the soul as it's connected with the body and the bodily functions. Okay, thank you, Michael. Lyle, what are fasting times on the 17th of Tammuz? It depends where you live. So it's going to be from dawn to nightfall. So, for example, here in Montreal, for example, here in Montreal, the fast begins 3:12 a.m. and finishes 9:15 p.m. Right, it starts because dawn is at that time. Okay, so where that is in New York or in, if you're in the southern hemisphere, so then it's winter, it's going to be a shorter fast. All right, folks, we're going to go to Rambam after this, and a reminder that Sunday we will have TRC, and we will have other good stuff, Torah studies, of course, and we'll continue our conversation. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zeching Kadeshim Montreal, where it's a privilege and pleasure to share with you Tanya. Have a wonderful day and a great good Shabbos.